Hello and welcome back to Undefeated. We'll be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is basically after Zander ended up in the medbay again, after fighting Bruce again. But, Bruce decided to give Zander an out, kind of. And it's a very tempting out because he basically said that, you know, how about if I pay for your exit? And this is something to consider. Uh, Something that I will say about this update is that it does have choices. Whether these choices matter or not is to be seen, but I already know the first choice that I'm gonna make, and it may be to the detriment of our poor little Xander here, but yeah. Anyways, another thing to note, though, that this might also be a bit more... This may relate more to our favorite little hyena. Well, another favorite little hyena, who also happens to be striped, by the name of Redline. So yeah. Anywho, so, I guess without further ado, let us begin round 5. I stare at him, the silence swelling between us. You'll pay my fines? Yeah. You know how much they cost. He sighs. I know, it's a lot, but I can make it work. Fighting you. It's not worth it. Not like this. We both turn our eyes away, thinking about the offer. On the one hand, this is Xander's out. I sincerely doubt that it would be that easy for him to escape. But on the other hand, I doubt that that's the right thing to do right now. So I think I'm gonna have to decline. I can't. I don't want to. This isn't his problem. This isn't anyone else's problem. Why should I be a burden for him too? Fuck off. Come on, Zander. I don't want your pity. Pity? It's not. Bruce sighs and lowers his voice. I'm trying to help you out. Then let me win. He glares at me and I turn away. I'm not sure why I said that. It sort of came out. You know that I can't do that. Why not? I know. It was selfish to even suggest. But it's selfish of him to keep this going. Bruce steps closer to my bed, to me. The world champion just concedes out of nowhere. Top of his career, undefeated, prime of his life. You think the commissioner's just gonna let that happen? Another step closer. I'm sorry. I'm just supposed to throw away my whole career for you? What about my career? Jesus, fine. Sorry for asking. Bruce realizes that he's leering right over me, pressing up against my bed. He pauses and takes a few awkward steps back. Just think about it, okay? Sure. All right. He lingers for a moment, then turns and exits without another word. I feel like I should be mad. I should be pissed. But right now, I'm just tired. I'm tired of being in the way. I'm tired of not making any progress. I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of wanting to die. Maybe I can sleep it off. Sleep didn't help. Sleep hardly helps these days. It barely even felt like sleep, more like being comatose. Good morning, Xander. My eyes pan over to Drayden. Hi. He pauses, looking up from his papers. How are you feeling today? Just tell him. Why fight it? I don't know. I think I'm just tired. Well, after what happened last night, I can understand why. Last night? Did Bruce talk to him too? With Bruce? Drayden looks at me weird. Yes? Your fight with Bruce? You took quite the beating. I imagine your abs are quite sore. Right. But according to your charts, you're all set. Nothing broken, thankfully. Right, good. Drayden pauses, tapping his fingers against the clipboard. Is something on your mind? Something tells me that I shouldn't tell Drayden anything about the talk with Bruce last night. I've kept a few big secrets in my life, and this feels like another. No, just... I think I had a bad dream. Nothing serious, just... blech, you know? I try to give off my most normal, I'm not fine, but I am totally normal and well-adjusted face, and it seems to satisfy Drayden. Well, if anything's on your mind, you know I'm always here. Thanks. I try to sit up, groaning as the bruises on my body gets stretched out. Have you seen Redline anywhere? I haven't, no. He wasn't bugging me about the fight last night, and he hasn't burst into my room yet, so I'm... worried for him? It's weird that he hasn't yet. Yet? Well, I'll let you know if I see him. I thought Bucky was supposed to pay you a visit this morning, though it said something about... The door bursts open, slamming against the wall. The kangaroo beams as he walks in. Zan! The man! Why is everyone in this fucking league so goddamn loud? Bucky's holding Redline under his arm like a football. He lifts the hyena in front of him. Hi! Here, take this. No, Bucky, don't! Bucky grunts, thrusting his arms out and up, launching Redline towards me. I don't know if I'm in too much pain or if I'm desensitized by this point, but I just watch it happen. I hear if you close your eyes right before the hyena collides with you, your brain tricks itself into thinking that you will die. Some people find comfort in this. Redline does an impressive flip, landing expertly on his feet, only inches from my bed. Ha! Holy shit. I did not think that you would actually stick it. And you threw him anyway? And guess what day it is? Good morning to you, Redline. He grabs my wrists and shakes them a little too rough. Guess what day it is? And good morning to you as well, Bucky. Morning, Zander. Redline lets out an impatient whine. Zan, you gotta guess. A little chuckle escapes my nose. What is it, Redline? It's mail day! He didn't even let me guess. That means we get mail. It's like the solstice morning. That sounds exciting. Yeah! The smile on his face and the wagging tail is evidence that he didn't catch the sarcasm on my lips. But at least he's happy, so I don't mind. I wanted to let you rest before I talk about the fight last night, but holy shit! Zan! Bucky also charges in, pulling me into a horribly painful hug with the Redline crushed between us. We both let out a yelp, but Redline giggles. Did you see? Ow, see what? You made him bleed! Holy shit, I did. Yeah, you did, bud! He lifts both me and Redline off the ground, shaking us in his vice grip. And you thought that he was untouchable. It's not that. I mean, in our first match, I couldn't even make him flinch. I nearly broke my hands on his body. And in your next match, you're gonna break his fucking snout. I'm so goddamn proud of you! Bucky pauses a grip on each word, forcing a wheeze out of both Redline and I. Can you put me down? Mm-hmm. I'll hope that was a protest and agreement. Bucky releases the hold and drops both of us. Redline steadies himself on me until his snout straightens out. So you're already making plans for the next fight? Oh yeah, got plenty of ideas on how to beat his ass. Next fight you have is gonna be the last one, I swear. Let's hope he's right about that. Redline shakes himself back to consciousness. Dude, we gotta go! What's the rush, you two? Yeah, breakfast is only like half over. I heard someone say that they're making some big announcements. He grabs my hand, practically pulling me out of the room and down the hall. I didn't even have a chance to say bye to Drayden or Bucky. After a second, I finally managed to get my legs working in order. I'm not in any rush, but Red won't let go of my hand, so I really have to run just to keep up. We manage to get our food and start looking for an empty seat. I spot half a table completely empty next to Redline's friends. Hey, your buds are over there. Redline stops chattering, ears folded back and tail drooping as he starts looking anywhere else. There doesn't seem to be a table that's not a total mess and has two spaces next to each other. He takes a second, then sighs. Oh, sure. And just like that, he's deflated. Redline makes sure to sit at the far end of the table, away from the group of friends, who all manage to look at Redline, then mumble something under their breath. He starts picking at his food, a 3-egg omelet which was downgraded from a 4-egg omelet about 2 weeks ago, something about budget cuts. Redline seemed a little disappointed at the time. But he also usually scarfs it down, so it probably didn't make too much of a difference to him in regards to taste. Still, it's weird seeing him eat so slowly. Something up? Hmm? Oh, sorry, no. Just thinking about stuff. Stuff? Yeah. Like what stuff? Not really sure why I bother with the follow-up questions. It usually leads to more chattering, but Redline takes a pause. It's, uh... It's kinda stupid. Okay. I usually assume that means the end of the conversation, but Redline continues. I haven't gotten a fight in a long while. Like, a few months before you came down here. I'm starting to get worried that they'll fire me. I mean, wouldn't that void your contract? Huh? Your contract. If they fire you, you're not in any trouble or anything. That's only if you quit. Right. That makes sense. Right. So, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Nothing to be sorry for. Is that all that you were worried about? He pauses halfway through his bite of omelet and nods. I, I guess so. Maybe they're scared that I'll win too quickly. A smile creeps across his face, and I can see his tail wagging. Finally, he's back to normal. Which means more conversation. Or at least it would, if someone didn't start speaking with a microphone. Attention, everyone. A cacophony of boos and cheers before the crowd quiets down. I hope we're all enjoying the breakfast this morning. As you all know, it's mail day. Another set of cheers, and it's when I finally notice the massive table behind Theodore. Stacks of packages, bags of envelopes, with a few staff workers still trying to organize everything. But first, we have some announcements to share. There have been some last-minute changes to the fights coming up. Please listen closely to the updated matches. First off, due to unforeseen circumstances, David will be unable to take his match against Jesse. Jesse's fight will now be with Redline, taking place on the 8th. I turn to look at Redline, who looks shocked, to say the least. The group next to us also look at him, but I'm not sure if he notices. Oh! There is a few spare cheers that stick out above the sound of the crowd talking, but Theodore rambles on to talk about the other fights coming up. That's good. Redline spaces out, looking at his breakfast, muttering quietly. Jesse. He's the Puma, I think. Yes, he's the Puma. Broad shoulders, thick build, plain coloring. Redline? I swear he was middleweight. Or did that change? There's like 3 Pumas down here and they all have names with J's in them. Redline? Hmm? Oh, sorry. Oh, what's up? Nothing. You okay? Yep, better than okay. I'm pumped. I'm gonna tell Bucky the good news after breakfast. Redline goes on to talk about Jesse and all his whole fighting history that he somehow managed to recall. Apparently he's a little heavier than us, but around the same height. Good to know for him, I guess. After a few more announcements, Theodore clears his throat. Ahem. And, a few more things. He pulls out a little cue card. First up, Fang's policy on vacation days is being changed. Furthermore, due to recent events, Fang has made the decision to restrict social media usage on our facility network. Both these changes are made to, help facilitate a more focused growth for our fighters. For more details, please review the updated policy that has been sent to your emails. The crowd's confused silence grows to a more general complaints, and before it can get too out of hand, Theodore has already trotted away and out the door. Dude, this is bullshit. What the fuck? First change highlighted? We're only getting 1 vacation day per win now? It's bad enough that our pay per fight got halved a few months ago, and now this? And dude, look at this list of blocked sites. Redline draws my attention. He's already pulled out his phone. He's listing off the list of blocked websites. I barely use social media as it is, but some of these sites make no sense. It's not just the social media feeds. It's like everything. Streaming sites, video sites, even Headkick is on here. Like, all that's left are some search engines and, I don't know, texting, calling? They really want us cut off from most of the world, huh? Headkick is probably the one site that everyone down here is familiar with. If that's gone, then... Wait. Is this my fault? What's up? I used Headkick and accidentally broke my contract. The commissioner said that he had to work hard to get that cleared up. Maybe this is just... Zan? You okay? Huh? I don't know. I feel like I caused this. Wait, what? Like, you made them ban all social media? Come on, dude, there's no way. I shake my head. I don't know, man. I met with the commissioner. Oh, yeah? The commissioner? How was he? Or, what was he like? He was... intense. I explained my interactions with the commissioner to Redline, who only seems to get increasingly concerned. That... Okay, maybe you did cause all of this. That's not very helpful. I mean, it's not a good sign, but like, we can never really know what the reasoning was. Maybe it really is just up to, keep us from getting distracted or whatever. Didn't Theodore say something about the recent events? What else could that be about? The group of Redline's friends next to us look our way, then start chattering, something about the social media stuff. Maybe we should talk about this later. Sure. Some of the other staff members pick up the mic and start reading off the instructions on how to pick up the mail. They go alphabetically by last name. They call G and Redline goes up. Hey. Mine's not for a while, and I doubt that I'll have any mail, so... Hello? What was your name? Alan? I turned my head to see who they're talking to. What was that you were saying about earlier? About the commissioner? I guess he's talking to me. Nothing that you need to worry about. 'Cause it sounded like you're the reason that we can't use the internet anymore. The way that he talks sounds like he's trying to intimidate me. I've seen him in class, and he's not really worth the energy. I try to remain silent and hope that he goes away. Better hope that kind of shit doesn't spread to other people. Okay. Because I know some guys down here that are gonna be way more pissed than we are. I'm not even turned to face the guy, and he's still talking. Get a fucking life, dude. Redline strolls back carrying 3 large boxes stacked on top of each other. They drop down next to the table, and he pulls the first one up in front of him. Jesus. See? Like solstice morning. The box flips open, and he finds an envelope on top. Oh, from my sister! He tears the envelope trying to pull the letter out, then crumbles that up as he starts reading the letter. Sup, loser. Here's the rest of... The hyena falters, then his ears lower. His eyes scan across the letter for a second, then he folds it in half and sets it under the box. Well, let's crack this bad boy open. A few layers of bubble wrap, and he pulls out a large rectangular wooden box. Oh, dude! My fight stick! What the hell is a fight stick? There's some sort of joystick on one side and a bunch of buttons on the other side. He starts fiddling with it. It's a controller for Tales of Fury. It takes up a lot more space than my regular controller, so I couldn't bring it with me. Right. And now where are you planning to store it? He looks down at the controller, then to the 3 large boxes, and his ears fold. Right. I'm sure that I'll make it work. It'll be a little tight. Oh, but I'll make sure that it stays off of your side of the room. It'll be fine. He digs through the boxes a bit more, finding some clothes and photo albums. Oh, this is my high school art portfolio. Jesus. He flips it open, revealing a few pages littered with photographs. You can't really make them out from this angle, but they look pretty artsy. Good God, this is so embarrassing. I tried to make this a portfolio for an application to an art school. Can you believe that I thought some of this was good? He spits out a laugh, but it tapers off after a second. More pages flip by, but Redline just stares at them wistfully. The book closes and Redline pulls his temple. He looks tired. Hey. Bruce's voice sends both of us sitting straight up. He speaks so suddenly, piercing the noise of the crowd around us. Can I talk to you guys? I need you to come with me for a second. I'm eating. Okay. I can go. Redline and Bruce get up, heading back towards the table, stacked with mail. I'm not really that hungry. I just didn't want to deal with Bruce. He's still on my mind from last night. Redline's letter from his family is peeking out from under the box. Should I read it? No. Respect Redline's privacy. That's not really any of my business. He didn't want to read it for a reason. I'm a bit curious, but if he wants to talk about it, he can. I start flipping through the photo album absentmindedly. He let me look through it with him a minute ago, so this should be fine. The first few pages are pretty artsy. Flowers, city streets, beaches, a lot of landscape work. It looks nice, I guess. I don't know much about art, but it seems serviceable. The kind of thing that I'd see in a furniture store display. Or maybe the placeholder photo that they put in picture frames before they buy them. After a few pages, I start to see some actual people. Probably some candid shots. People in a high school hallway. People walking around on the sidewalk. A bunch of sporting events. I recognize a few of these people. I think that's Orlando. Looks like he's doing some sort of speech. And that's probably his sister doing something in some martial arts class. And then I assume that these are his parents. Rain and, Clark? She seems to be helping him fix his tie. I've seen them both before in that family photo Redline showed me, but this looks much less fabricated. They both look almost familiar, but I'm not sure why. His mom looks like Redline but older. His dad? Something about him makes me anxious, even if it's just a candid photo. Really? You can't put 2 and 2 together? I flip the photo over. Someone's written, "Dad can never figure out getting his tie on right," on it. I slide the photo back into its place and close the book before anyone notices. Eventually, Redline and Bruce come charging in through the sliding door. His mood seems totally different. Zander! Dude! Come check this out! He turns quickly, immediately face-planting into Bruce's solid body. Hey! I thought you were waiting outside. Nope. Let me help you with your boxes. Redline grabs the box on the table, crumpling up the letter and shoveling it into his pocket. Bruce bends down and lifts the other two up, carrying one under each arm. They leave, and I take care of our trays before following them to the hallway. Ta-da! They're standing in front of a little hand cart. It's got a big bag of packages and a few dozen boxes of various sizes stacked haphazardly across it. What is this? Bruce's fan mail. He's giving it to us. He looks proud. I don't want it. Come on, Zan. It'll give you something to open. It ain't Solstice if someone can't open a box. It's not Solstice. And why would I want to read letters about how much people love you? Can't they send that shit in an email? He rolls his eyes. It's mostly promotional material. Gift cards and hats and shit. I don't want it. I figured you two would. Redline bounces with excitement. I might get a new water bottle! There's definitely a water bottle in there somewhere. These fuckers want me to do brand deals left and right. I don't know what's so exciting. I got a water bottle when I signed my bank contract. It wasn't even that good. Whatever. I don't know if we'll even have the space for this kind of stuff on our room. I'll store the leftover junk in my room. It's no problem. Bruce looks cool and calm, but I can see his fingers tapping the railing, almost like he's anxious for something. Okay, fine. But you're carrying the cart up the stairs. Okay. We have elevators. That works too! We take the elevator up, then Bruce rolls the cart down the hallway, with the Redline sitting on the front, chatting away about something. Eventually we get to our room, with the cart barely squeezing inside. These rooms got smaller, I swear. I don't think it counts since you're like 9 feet tall. Yeah, that checks out. He chucks a box at Redline, who barely manages to catch it and starts to tear it open. Bruce drops onto the foot of my bed next to me. Isn't opening someone else's mail some kind of federal offense? I won't sue. This time. How gracious. Are you giving us your garbage? Can't a guy do something nice for his BFF? Best fighter forever? Bruce lowers his voice. And, you know, maybe I feel like you deserve a break? A bunch of gifts isn't a break. Well, it's the closest that I got. You want it or not? Zan, there's 2 water bottles on this one. 2? Both Redline and Bruce look at me, one with genuine surprise and one with feigned excitement. I guess I could use a better water bottle. Fine. Redline tosses a box at me and Bruce, spouting off some facts about his favorite water bottle that he used to use before he came down here. We spend the next hour or so cracking open boxes, checking out all the brand deals, vying for Bruce's attention. Cozies, protein powder, hats, sweat towels. I got all this shit for free in Fang anyway. You guys will too once you get to Tier 3. Once we get to, speaking like that's an option for me. After getting through the boxes, Redline, now clad in an unreasonable amount of free branded t-shirts, pulls up the bag of mail, ripping open in an envelope. Why do you get so much mail? I didn't even get this much junk mail when I lived topside. Fang filters out all the flyers and shit. Most of the envelopes are about free swag, but they just talk about the boring terms and conditions. Might be a gift card or something in there though. Could be nice. That was enough to set Redline off, rifling through the bag of any envelopes with something hard inside. He's like a raccoon digging through the trash, getting his grubby mitts all over my mail. That doesn't seem to stop him from pulling out a few stacks, tossing them sloppily to both me and Bruce. Bruce was right, just a lot of lawyer talk, asking for contracts, explaining their gear, how Bruce needs to advertise it. Dumbasses don't really get the situation. Fang prevents me from advertising any other brand unless they get the permission from the commish. Redline pulls out an envelope. This one's got handwriting. That means it's personal. Bruce is unfazed. Letter rip. The letter tears open and a few photographs fall out. Redline scoops them up, looking at them, and then starts giggling before planting them face down on the bed. Oh my god, dude! People mail you nudes? Bruce's porcelain face breaks and he laughs. Shit, really? Been a while since someone tried that. I thought people only did that over DMs. Nah, I don't have any social media or anything like that anymore. Got bored of it. Why would I want anyone to know what I'm doing all the goddamn time? But if they can't hit me on a private anymore, guess that they'll figure out some other way to do it. I used to get a lot of ladies with nice bods. A lot of dudes too. Like, a lot of dudes. He even wrote you some kind of love letter. It's kinda cute. Oh yeah, I bet it's real romantic. All the best romances start with showing me their giblets. Okay, but he has a really nice body. Good for him. His tone dies down the more Redline talks. Luckily, he moves on, eventually digging through the last of the mail. Redline's amassed a small pile of gift cards. Looks like it'll save him a pretty penny. I don't even know when you plan on using those gift cards down here. I've been saving up my vacation days. Just so you know, I haven't gotten a whole lot of fights lately. Oh yeah, you got one coming up, don't you? Yeah, with Jesse. Gonna need more than a name. Sure, let me just project his face into your mind. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, I can see him. I love his plumage. He's a puma. Damn, gotta work on your projection skills. Anyway, he's one of the bigger names in the lightweights. Thought I recognized his name, and his perfect, scaly dragon skin. Isn't he way too big to be in the lightweights? I think he came down from middleweight a while back. He's definitely on the heavier end. And you're on the lighter end. That's true. Some fighter leagues have multiple different weight classes, but Fang simplified it down to 3. Down here, anything below 180 pounds is considered lightweight. Middleweight goes from 180 to 230, and anything above that is heavyweight. Other fighting leagues chalk those up into more smaller weight differentialities, usually between 10 to 15 pounds per class. Fang sort of got their edge by being the first to change that. It creates a lot more tension watching fighters of different weights test their limits. I imagine it makes betting a lot more interesting too. Obviously, if there's a size mismatch, you'll think that the bigger guy wins, but that's not always the case. Granted, fights usually get paired close enough to weights that the class limits don't matter too often. But then you get edge cases, like Redline's here. He looks like he's edging around 135, maybe 140. I didn't receive the projection of Jesse like Bruce did, so I don't know too much about him besides what Redline mentioned earlier. Broad shoulders, thick build. When Fang announced the condensing of the weight classes, some of the people raised a stink, calling it as unfair or scary, but most of them just ended up adapting. Can't afford to lose their jobs in this economy. Sure, it's more dangerous to fight with bigger weight differences, but at least we have a place to sleep and food to eat, so that makes it all worth it, right? Redline flops backwards onto the discarded envelopes that covered his bed and lets out a long sigh. He's probably got, what, like 40 pounds on me? I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, your opponent could have like 180 pounds on you. Bruce's smug smile aimed at me disappears as soon as we make eye contact. 40 pounds is nothing, Red. You're gonna be fine. And I really doubt that it'll be that far apart anyway. 20 pounds at most. Redline lets out another sigh. Maybe you're right. 20 is still a lot. Or we could tell Bucky to reschedule the fight. The hyena sits up immediately. Hey, now we don't gotta go that far. Bucky'll never let me hear the end of it. Plus, I really would like to get some more time off. There's that confidence. You gonna make that big cat submit? You kidding me? I'll knock him out. That's a bold claim when someone weighs that much more than you. If it was only about 5 to 10 pounds, that would be doable, but Jesse's potentially 30% heavier than Redline. That kind of difference can make a fight a lot harder. What about you guys? I can feel Bruce freeze over. Or maybe I'm just projecting. Either way, I'm trying not to make eye contact with Bruce. God, it's fucking awkward ignoring someone when I know that they're waiting for me to answer. I sigh and look at Bruce. He has definitely been looking at me since Redline asked. I mean, what about us? You two have another fight eventually, right? Wait, your fight was last night. That's why you were in the med bay. I fucking missed it, dude. I'm so sorry. How'd it go? I ended up in the med bay. So I'm still surprised that they made you stay there. I didn't break anything. And you're sure about that? Bruce scoffs and rolls his eyes. Yes, I'm sure. I want to win, not hurt you. So the 6 knees to the gut were, what, a warning? I was trying to tire you out. You little guys have too much stamina, so I just want to make sure that you couldn't keep fighting. But I'm not going to knock you out again, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't, accidentally break something. Oh, so the stomp in your second fight was just an accident? Of course it was. I don't stomp on someone unless they deserve it. And with all the shit that you're going through, I'm not about to go out of my way to make it worse. So, like, what exactly is going on? I know Zander said that it's some weird contract thing, but all the promos are saying that he challenged you? Bruce lets out a sigh and leans back on my bed. All I know is that the system glitched out, and now Xander's stuck fighting me. But Fang is framing it like Xander's some rando that has some beef with me. We don't have to do the weigh-ins anymore, and now that they banned any form of social media, something's off about the whole situation. A computer glitch feels like a really easy fix, and Xander said that he talked to, the commissioner about it? His ears drooped at the mention of the commissioner. Bruce looks at me. Yeah, want to fill me in on what happened? I only heard bits and pieces. It went about as well as you'd think. He yelled at me about the head kick post. I asked about fixing our fights, and he just told me to do what I'm told or I'm breaking my contract. Sounds about right. So the computer fucks up once, and now he's just letting that slide? Doesn't sit right with me. He's usually pretty picky with the championship fights. I get that a lot of Fang's audience is gonna like hyper-violent fights. That's most of their clientele, yeah. And mismatches are exciting for main events or for the gamblers. But is it still fun for them, watching the same fight over and over again? Maybe I need to cave your skull in to keep that going. I'm still not a fan of those kinds of jokes, but Bruce sighs out. I don't know. I smell bullshit, but I don't know what to make of it. I've asked some questions about matchmaking before all this happened, but the old man just shuts me down, and Ted's fucking useless, so yeah, that's where we're at. We just keep fighting? Unless you got any better ideas? We both look over at Redline, who asked the question in the first place. He seems to be deep in thought. Bruce whistles sharply. Right over there, Stripes. Oh, yeah, totally. Just thinking. So, are you two, friends now? He really needs to stop asking questions. I think this one is on me to answer, given Bruce's extended silence. Okay, I technically already did this. Well, I did it up to this part, actually. So, I originally let Bruce answer the question, but, given his response, I think that it's safe to say that yes, we're friends. Or at the very least, that yes, we can be friends. Because he's trying at the very least. I sigh and look at Bruce. He looks hopeful. I don't know how to say no to people. Well, I do, quite often actually. But when someone's trying as hard to reconcile as Bruce, it's hard to keep that going. Well, even though he knocked me out and broke my arm, dislocated, and broke my ribs and humiliated me in a number of times, Bruce looks ashamed. I guess I can try to get past that. If I'm being honest, I don't think that I can forgive you for everything that's happened. But you seem just as lost as I am, so maybe you're not the enemy that I thought you were. The dinosaur breathes in deep and slowly exhales, his chest shuddering ever so slightly. Thanks, Zander. I appreciate it. And for what it's worth, I am sorry for how this is turning out. I wish I had a better solution. Just try not to do too much damage. I'll do what I can. Maybe we can come up with a solution together? Both our heads turn back to Redline. It's strange how quiet he's being, but it's not like I have conversations with other people when he's around, so maybe this is just how he is when he's listening. Maybe. Got any ideas? Well, no. But it's not like we're on a time limit, right? You two keep fighting and doing what you need to do, and we'll try to come up with something that fixes everything. I guess it's better than nothing. Problem is, I can't really be seen with you two too often. I'm supposed to hate you, remember? But you're here now? Security's got enough on their hands with mail day, and the rest of the guys won't notice me sneaking off just this once. But I gotta keep up appearances, you know? You really don't. Is it too much to ask him to not be shitty to me around everyone else? But, I'll try to find time. See what you knuckleheads can come up with. Anything else you guys need? Redline looks around at the pile of free samplings that he's wadding in. I think you said something about storing some stuff in your room? Bruce lets out a sigh and smiles, getting up to shovel random junk into a box. Redline picks up a few things out, namely a water bottle, a few tank tops, and a fur brush, and the rest gets packed up and loaded onto the cart. Another gift box gets full of trash, and our room is left only slightly more cramped than it was before. I'll catch you guys later. Take care! I nod at him. Bruce wheels the cart out and we're left alone. I'm glad that he's back to being nice. If you can call that nice. Would you rather that he go back to shoving you around the cafeteria? No, I know. His hands are tied. I'm still a little burnt on it, though. I pivot, trying to change the subject. So, are you excited for your fight this weekend? Redline looks confused. He said the 8th. That's next week. No, Redline. It's this weekend. You got 6 days. No, it's... He takes a second to count on his fingers, then stands straight up. I have 6 days? That's so soon! We gotta go! We? Bucky, go! Redline charges out of the room, but before I can even stand up, he comes back in, grabbing his gym bag and charging out again. By the time that I make it downstairs, slowed by the aching in my abs, I can make out the sight of Redline down the hall, walking alongside Bucky and Drayden. His voice is even more clear from this distance, shouting something akin to asking Bucky to hurry. We meet halfway with Bucky looking like he's ready to kill someone, but in a fun way. Drayden looks anxious. Zander, what's up, Buck? Bucky pulls Redline into a headlock, forcing a yip from the Yeen. You're just in time to watch this little mud get demolished. They start bickering and I fall in line next to Drayden. Mind filling me in? Redline said that he's got a new fight and he asked me to fight him. You think that you can ruin my date, little man? Date? Drayden blushes and stammers, but Redline pipes up. Hey, I didn't ruin anything. I just want to spar. You wanna spar, do ya? I'll spar with you, little furball. They're both laughing with some even more aggressive grappling. We make it to an empty gym and the two of them rush in. Drayden's face is still red, seemingly unsure what to say. He and I lean back against the wall as Redline and Bucky get into a fighting gear. While Redline gets into his, Bucky's still wearing his uniform, but has MMA gloves on now. Alright, little buddy, you know how to take on a bigger opponent? Whoa! Redline was already charging on him, rocking Bucky's gut with a solid straight. Bucky didn't move, only laughing as his arms wrapped around the Yeen. See, now there's your first mistake, getting within throwing range. In a grand spectacle, Bucky lifts Redline up, then slams him down on his back. He lets out a yip of pain, but manages to get his arms around Bucky's neck. Ugh, what's your next move, you little twerp? With his little arms draped over the kangaroos, he tightens his guillotine hold. Bucky sputters and coughs out a laugh, and I can see his legs repositioning, crawling up towards Redline. With a deep guttural grunt, the bigger man starts to stand upright. Redline's tail is wagging as he's lifted up into the air, and by the sounds of Bucky's coughing only tightening the choke. Bucky chokes again, arcing his back to lift Redline up even higher. Then slams him down onto the mats hard. Redline lets out a much louder yelp, his body very clearly convulsing as the pain rocks up through his body, but remains tightly locked around Buck's neck. His legs kick out, failing to find purchase on the mat as a lack of oxygen starts to show its sign, and after a few seconds, the coach taps Redline's arm 3 times, signaling his submission. Redline laughs and releases the hold, laying spread eagle under Bucky as the both of them try to gather more air. I turn to Drayden, who seems enamored. Should we stop this? Drayden doesn't respond, only staring at the two as Bucky swaps to putting Redline in a chokehold, guiding him on how to break out of it. Drayden? What? Oh, no. I think that they're just, I mean, they aren't using actual power, right? It should be fine, I think. I guess that's fair. They aren't supposed to use full power, but that slam sounded pretty heavy. Maybe that's just how they spar? Come to think of it, I don't think that I've ever watched the two of them actually spar. It's normally Redline and his friends. So Bucky spars with you? Huh? No, I mean, he'll hold the pads if we have an odd number of people, but normally it's just me with one of Redline's buddies. Ah, I see. What are they like? His friends? I'm not really sure. I don't pay much attention to them. They kind of just blend in with everyone else down here. Except with Redline, of course. But we're roommates, so... Drayden nods and folds his arms over his chest. Redline and Bucky are standing now, the two of them squaring up just outside striking distance. Redline growls something and Bucky pounds his own gut, beaming wide, inviting Redline to strike him. Redline's next fight is with someone bigger than him, so... The cat lets out a chuckle and sighs. Trust me, he told us about it. Bucky actually coached Jesse for about a year before he got bumped up to Tier 2. So he switched coaches? Yep, or so I hear. You can start booking private sessions at that level, and apparently Jesse and Bucky never really got on too well, so it was a good thing all around, I guess. I guess so. Hard to imagine what kind of asshole you'd have to be to not get along with Bucky. But I've met Ryan, so... How has Redline been since, the party? I shrug. He's been... alright, I guess. A little sad here and there, but I don't think it has to do with the party. Then what was he sad about? He seemed anxious about not getting fights for a while. Thought that they were gonna fire him. Drayden chuckles as Bucky tackles Redline to the ground again. I don't think that they'd get rid of him just like that. But I am glad to hear that he's got a fight coming up. Have you heard anything about his friends? I don't really talk to them, but he did kind of get weird when we saw them today, now that you mention it. He got all quiet, but he said it's because he hadn't had a fight in a while. I see. Right? It's not like Redline would stay quiet about his friends. He never shuts up about them. Even if he hasn't talked about them in a few weeks. Huh. Do you think something happened? Drayden sighs. Probably. Should we say something? I've tried asking. He keeps saying that everything's fine, as frustrating as that can be sometimes. We can't really force him to open up. That's fair. He's right. It sucks, but forcing the questions could only make things worse. And how have you been? I still don't know if I should talk to him about how much Bruce and I have been talking. At the very least, we should talk about it in private. Not bad. My abs still hurt after the fight last night. Well, if that's the worst that you're feeling these days, that sounds like an improvement. Have you heard anything from your family? Actually, now that you mention it, no, I haven't. Not since we talked a month ago. I see. Have you put any thought into what you will if he calls again? He's awfully persistent. Do you think that we could maybe talk about this in private? Ah, of course. Just let me know when you'd like to talk it over. You have my number. Of course, Doctor. As Bucky finally pins Redline, the kangaroo cranks him up back into a chokehold. After a few choked laughs, the little hyena taps out, and the two collapse forward onto the mat, exhausted. They both have big smiles on their faces. They seem happy. Bucky scoops Redline up, draping the limp Yeen over his shoulder, and trots back over to us. Hey, I'm not done. Oh ho ho, yes you are, pup. You got a fight coming up, and we got practice later, so that means you gotta rest. The kangaroo stops in front of us, then flips Redline over, holding him bridle style. He turns to look at me and Drayden, tongue hanging limply out of his maw, panting like a dog. Here, you want him? Bucky starts to hand him over, and I awkwardly accept Redline into my arms and immediately have to ease him towards the ground. He's heavier than I was expecting. He catches himself on his feet, then drops down, laying spread eagle and panting some more between giggles. That ought to wear him out for a bit. You had fun fighting above your weight class, pup? Heh, yeah. How come you never trained me like that? Haha, that's because... Huh. Maybe we should start then. It never took you as a glutton for punishment to, Zander. In a flash, he pulls me into a headlock, grinding his knuckles hard against my head. I try swinging my fists into his sides and pulling free, but with no luck. It's too warm, pressed against his sweaty body, bare knuckles digging hard and harder into my scalp. I have to tap out. Heh, there you go, little man. He lets me go and I stumble back against the counter. Redline lets out a little laugh, but goes back to gasping. Just a little taste of what's to come. Now that you and Red got me fired up, I'll make sure that you get some special training with your coach. Now, if you'll excuse me, I was about to go on a walk with my dear friend Drayden. The doctor blushes a bit and Bucky leans down to help Redline to his feet. You boys gonna be alright for class later today? Yeah. I'll be gunning for you, Coach Buck. And that's double your punishment in class. He lets out a laugh, and while Redline tries to get a wary protest out, Bucky and Drayden make their way to the exit. Let's chat more soon, you two. I nod at Drayden, but Redline just collapses again, panting face up on the ground. I sit down next to him, listening to him giggle for a while. He's never tried putting me in a headlock like that before. He's really scary when he gets riled up. But in a fun way. Yeah, I noticed. I think Drayden noticed too. How's your back feeling? I'm fine. I'm great. Those slams were nothing. They really did not sound like nothing. Did you learn your lesson? Oh yeah. Coach gave me plenty to work with. I haven't wrestled like that in a while. You and I grappled like 5 days ago. No, I mean like with someone bigger, and Bucky's way bigger than Jesse. That loser's gonna eat pavement. He rolls over onto his front and pushes himself to a standing position. I'm gonna go run and grab some water, maybe a shower too. Bucky stinks. It's definitely more your scent, man. Redline takes a whiff and realizes his mistake. Shush! I'll grab a shower. Redline starts out the door, and then at the same time, I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket with a heavy grunt forced By the pain in my abs, I get myself up off the ground and check it. It's a text message from Dad. Ah, hey! The text can wait. I charge out into the hall to see Redline pressed up against the wall by someone. Come on, pup, it's an easy question. Some sort of canine about Bruce's size has Redline pinned, shoved into the wall next to the gym. He's got a bit of a sleazy grin on his muzzle. Redline looks uncomfortable. Stop, Cole! I already said... At that, Cole smacks the side of Redline's muzzle, forcing a yelp from the Yeen. I told you to call me Alpha, pup. Hey. I managed to catch their attention, and they both turn their heads to look at me. You mind, runt? Leave him alone. It's okay, Zander. Hey, I think I recognize you. He shoves Redline away and staggers up to me, bumping me against his gut. I stand my ground, staring straight up at him. I don't care. Fuck off. You're that little creep that spilled your drink all over me. I remember that incident, but not the faces. I was panicking too much. Also, he didn't have a Sprite back then. It all happened so fast. It was back on my first day. I was talking to Redline and I bumped into someone hard enough to accidentally crush my smoothie's cup. The lid popped off, spilling the drink onto the big guy. He shoved me back and I slipped onto a bit of smoothie that fell on the floor. Redline tried to help me up, but I just dropped. There were 4 guys. One was Bruce and the guy that I bumped into was... Right. I was so scared when I saw Bruce that I totally forgot what the other guy looked like. Hey, what the fuck? You got a problem, shithead? The canine with the stain barks back at Redline. Wait, I remember his voice now. It was just a little bit prior, my first time entering the cafeteria. I was walking through the aisles of the tables. I got distracted by the food stations along the back and I... Oh shit, my bad, little dude. The voice was that guy that hit me by accident. This was the guy that hit me by accident. Or maybe he just didn't care. They all laughed at something, probably the fact that I just got decked by the big guy. I turned around to walk away, but... You lost or something, little guy. That's right. I don't think that I got an apology for that smoothie incident, little man. He leers down over me. I can feel his weight pressing into me. I don't know what's gotten into him, but I am not as scared as I should be. And I don't think Redline ever got his. Cole glares down, a slight growl rumbling from his throat, but he smiles, then reaches back for Redline. In a single swipe, he's got him in a headlock, grinding a noogie hard into his scalp. Hey! We were just having some fun, ain't that right, little slut? Stop! Ow! I just want to know where my buddy Bruce is at. Said that he was gonna meet me around here. Figured the Fang fuckhole wouldn't know where the champ is. Redline just growls and struggles harder and harder, not even opting to respond. I have to do something. Hail, idiot. Bruce strolls out of the weight room next to the gym, scruffing Cole harshly. He releases Redline immediately, who stumbles forward into me. The canine turns around to face Bruce. Jesus, dude, you're late. I've been waiting for you to spot me for an hour. And you're a dumbass. I said that we're meeting at 1:30. No, you said that we were meeting at 12:30. I said 1:30. You forgot how to tell time. The two keep arguing for a bit, the commotion getting louder and louder as it draws the attention of random passerbys in the hall. Eventually, Bruce grumbles and stomps back towards the weight room. I'm gonna go work out, and you better quit picking on the light weights. Cole scruffs Redline again, or at least he manages to grip it. I step between them, keeping Cole from moving him. Or what? You're gonna hurt me. Bruce sighs and steps closer to Cole, staring him down. Drop him. Cole hesitates and lets Redline go. You've been doing this shit for months, Cole. You spent all your time fucking around and lost your last 5 fights. Quit being a fucking idiot and get to work. The two stay pressed chest to chest, growling until... Whatever. Cole finally releases his grip, shoulder checking Bruce as he stomps towards the weight room. Bruce sighs and follows behind him. I swear that I catch his eyes staring at both of us before he enters. What a creep. You okay? I think so. You know him? Redline lets out a long sigh and shakes the tension out, staring down at the hallway. I know a lot of people down here. I'm guessing you heard the, fuckhole? Yeah. His ears are folded down, talking under his breath while we walk. I get, really close with a lot of guys down here. My mind goes back to Redline detailing his encounters while we were at the beach. Yeah, you mentioned it. Well, Cole was different. Most of the time, the guys would just come over and I, help them out, and that's that. Cole was really mean about it. He's rough, not in a fun way. And ever since then, he's just kept making fun of me for it. I mean, I get hazing, but when he does it... Redline shudders as we reach the second floor. It's nice to be wanted like that, but I don't know. Just makes me feel like gross. Hopefully Bruce can keep him on a leash. I can't always be around to protect you. He goes quiet for a second, looking away. Sorry. I wasn't trying to make him feel bad. Shit. Don't apologize to me. It's his fault. Right. By the time that we make it into the room, Redline's stone silent. He gathers up some clothes quick and leaves to the shower. He seems so proud of his escapades when he was bragging at the beach, but I feel like he's still not being fully truthful. It's nice to be wanted like that. Like an object. Is he proud of that? People are free to do what they love, but it doesn't feel like there's any love there. Maybe it was an obligation for him. He probably feels pretty lonely. His only friends stopped talking to him. All he's got is me and Bruce, and now he's getting shoved around by some creep. I think back to the time that he embarrassed me in class. I felt fucking sick, and the last thing that I needed was to be isolated from everyone else down here. All I wanted to do was run to the showers and cry. And cry. I think that's where we're gonna leave it for today. Trust me, there is way more to see. So, we're dealing with Redline's issues now. So, the poor little Yeen and his issues. So we kind of knew by now that Redline had a reputation. What it was, we didn't know until now. Obviously, if you... Okay, not slut shaming, but obviously if you, I guess, do what Redline was doing, which was being pretty open about what he would be willing to do for some people, I guess for attention, eventually you would encounter someone like that Cole person, which would take advantage of that and do things with you or stuff to you, because of course you're not going to say no. Or I guess you would say no, but he probably wouldn't let you. But yeah, I guess the consequences. Anywho, but thankfully, based on the decisions that I've made, it seems that Zander is being more open and less hostile to people. He is being more... not introspective, but he's at least examining the situations more. And that's kind of why I decided to choose not to accept Bruce's offer. Because if you do, even though he's saying like, yeah, okay, Bruce is gonna, help me, he is like very openly hostile about it. He's like, oh no, I'm choosing this because Bruce owes me. Like, oh, who cares about Redline? Who cares about Bucky? Who cares about all this? So that's why I decided to choose to stay, because this one feels more like Xander is like, you know what? I've been pretty selfish. I'm not gonna put this on Bruce because this isn't his problem. I mean, it kind of is, but not really. someone else is puppeteering things behind the curtains, you know. But yeah. Anywho, so, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Undefeated yourself and find out how Redline's fight goes, you can do so by going down to the link in the description for the Twitter page for Undefeated, where you can get a direct link to the itch.io page for Undefeated. Or you can, just go to itch.io and search for Undefeated yourself. It's a little search thing, you just put Undefeated and then ta-da, it's right there. But yeah. Also, I will post a link down for whatever support thingy they might have, like Patreon or Coffee. I think they have a Patreon now. So you can get early access to builds of Undefeated and, things that they might have for you to see. And yeah. Also, this is being recorded after the life update video. So I would like to thank everyone who donated, because I was actually very, well, I don't want to say surprised. I was actually very thankful to see a whole bunch of people that that came and donated, and like literally whatever amounts that you donated is very appreciated. Trust me, I was not expecting that, and I am very, very, very thankful to all of you. And yeah, like I said, like I've said in other videos, I do have the Coffee link down in the description, so if in the future you would like to donate, you could probably find it in some other video. Like, it doesn't have to be right now, it doesn't have to be any months around now. Like, any other time, you're just like, you know what? I have some free change, here's $1 for him. For the Yeen. But yeah, like, again, I really, really appreciate it. And, so yeah, like, just so you guys know, it's like, what is it, July 18th right now, so that's why I'm saying it right now. You probably won't hear it in the other videos that will be on Wednesday and Friday and the rest, because those were already pre-recorded. So whenever this comes out, I am telling you, I am very thankful. But yeah, anyways, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.